here is the fact that I get to go to the beach all year round. Look at the beautiful things that I found today washed up on the shore. I love taking walks down the beach and seeing these all over the place. You know, they said the high today was supposed to be around 85, but to me, it feels more like 100. I think I have just the perfect solution to cool us down this hot day. How about you follow me over to my kitchen and I'll whip us up something cool and refreshing.
Hi, welcome to my kitchen in South Florida. Today we're going to be making strawberry almond cream tart. If you come on over with me, I'll show you what's on the shopping list. For the crust, we're going to start off with 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 5.5 tablespoons of butter, 5 ounces of wonderful Philadelphia cream cheese, 1/4 cup of sugar, a big handful of sliced toasted almonds, 6 cups of freshly cut strawberries, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2/3 cup of sugar, and lastly we have 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice. To start off today's dessert, we're going to have to get a 9-inch pie pan, and we're going to have to pre-spray it with cooking spray. Okay, so then you have to get 1 mixing bowl, and we're going to add the 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, put the 5.5 tablespoons of butter, and also add the 2 tablespoons of sugar. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix that all together, and then we're going to mush it up in here to put it along the edges. Okay, so I have it almost all mashed up, and now what I'm doing is I'm just putting it into the pie pan, and I'm just putting it all along the sides and sprinkling it and making sure to get all over so that when we bake it, it will be nicely crispy and it'll be completely all around. Okay, I'm just cleaning off the edges right now, and if you can see, I mushed it all together all along the sides and make sure it's completely even all around. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it into the preheated oven that's preheated to 325 for about 8 minutes. Okay, so we have the pie crust in there cooking for right now, and so I moved on to the next step, and what I'm going to make is the filling. So what I've added in here is 2/3 cup, which is 5 ounces of creamy Philadelphia cream cheese. We have a 1/4 cup of sugar, and we also have a 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to mix this really well until it's blended. And I've tried to use other cream cheeses, but none of the other ones make it as smooth as Philadelphia does. So with the Philadelphia cream cheese filling that we just made, I'm going to place it aside for a second, and we're going to move on to the strawberry puree. So with the freshly cut strawberries, you're going to get 2 cups, and you're going to place them into the food processor. And what I've done already is process them together. So we're going to go ahead and get this, and we're going to pour it into about a medium saucepan. And we're going to mix the freshly chopped strawberries with 2/3 cup of sugar, and also with the 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. So we're going to go ahead and mix this all together, and then we're going to go cook it on the stove until it starts boiling. So what I'm going to do for a couple minutes is just mix this around until it comes to a boil. And this stuff looks so delicious. We have to make sure it gets very, very saucy. You know, it's really funny because when I was a child, me and my family, we used to live by strawberry picking fields. And we would go and we would pick the strawberries all the time. But now that I live in South Florida and I go to school down here, it's not by many strawberry fields. So I had to go and buy these strawberries. My dad would have been a little bit disappointed. Right now we have our strawberries boiling. We have our filling still sitting over there, and our pie crust just finished. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the oven. And I'm just going to place it to the side to cool off for a couple minutes. So now we're going to go back over to the strawberries, and it just about has come to a boil. And what I've done is I've added a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice to give it that little bit of tangy with the sweet taste. It's just come to a boil and it's extremely saucy. You want to come look, you can see it at a boil. I'm just going to taste it a little bit. It's very sweet and rich. You see it come to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, we're going to switch it to low for 1 minute. And we're going to make sure that we're stirring constantly. And then when we're done with this, we're going to put it aside and we're going to put it in the refrigerator to cool down. So right now we have the strawberry puree cooling on the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Philadelphia cream cheese filling into the pie crust. And you want to make sure to get this all out of your bowl because it doesn't make that much because the filling is only supposed to be a thin little layer. You want to smooth it all around. And make sure your pie crust is nice and cooled off so that it doesn't mix together. Okay, so now we have all of the filling filled all around the pie crust. Go ahead and see that. It's just going to be a little layer on the bottom. And now what we're going to do after our strawberry puree is cooled, we're going to go ahead and put it over this and we're going to toss these delicious strawberries into it. I'm going to go ahead and taste one because living down here in South Florida, it gets really hot. So whenever you have fresh strawberries, you have to take advantage of it. I hope you like strawberries as much as I do, Paula, because with this recipe, there's tons and tons of strawberries. So this is what it should look like after it's cooled off. It should be about pretty medium to thick saucy. And so we're going to go ahead and now we're going to add the strawberries, the remainder 4 cups of strawberries into the puree. And so as you add some of them, just go ahead and start tossing the sauce over the strawberries so you can get them all evenly coated. This red looks so rich. It's a perfect type of dessert for the summer months. And it'd be also good for 4th of July when you want to incorporate the red. So we're going to go ahead and toss all of this in until it's all covered up. So when you think that they're all covered up and all saucy, I'm going to keep mixing a little bit. So we're going to go over here to our pie. Now what you want to do is you're going to get 1 strawberry at a time, make sure it's all covered up, and we're going to put it standing up inside the pie. Like this. Okay, so I have just a couple of strawberries left to place in. So I'm going to go ahead and try to kind of squeeze all of them in so that it looks nice and beautiful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the remainder of the puree, and you will have some left over after. And you're just going to kind of pour it around the sides because you don't want to see any of the white cream cheese filling. So you're going to kind of pour it around the sides and put it all in between the strawberries. So I've just completed putting the puree on top of the strawberries, and when you're finished, it should look like this. So now I'm just so excited about how beautiful it looks. I'm so excited to bring it to my father and show him how these wonderfully store-bought strawberries really are going to taste. So what I'm going to do now is just get ready-made Cool Whip. And I'm going to go around the edges to try to cover the crust part because we don't really want to see much brown. So after we have the whipped cream, what we're going to do is we're going to get the almonds that were already pre-toasted. And we're going to go around and we're going to put them along the edges of the whipped cream. Putting almonds on this pie give it a really nice toasted taste. So we let our pie sit and cool for about 25 minutes, and once it's cooled, you'll notice that the puree and the strawberries will get kind of hard on top, and the cooling process also lets the almonds sit nicely on top of the whipped cream. Now it's time for my favorite part of making a dessert. I'm going to taste it. Let's see. It's very delicious. It's very sweet and at the same time tarty. How about you come on over and have a piece with me?